The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
A very warm welcome to audience out there. You are right on time for GBS Talking Show. Remember, this is the program whereby we discuss about problems that we are facing as a society and how we can come up with solutions based on having a proper and positive mindset. Welcome, I'm your host Henry Maina, and today I'm joined by two lovely people. This comes in the wake of the COVID-19, and therefore we are trying as much as possible to put up with the measures of the government, and that is why we have also some safe distance within ourselves. But welcome, karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Yes, and to begin with our show today, we are talking about an undecided mind. And as you know, a double-minded person is unstable in all his ways. I don't know whether you've ever come to a point whereby you want to do this, but on another aspect, you want to do something different. And because of this, there's a lot of confusion. One day, a lady walked to me and then told me about trying not having a decision on who to marry. There were two gentlemen, either this one or this one. Because of this, there's a lot of confusion. Anyway, the story ended that she got married to one of whom was the best in her life. But thank you very much for making time to be with us today. We can begin with you, a brief introduction of yourself and what is it that you're currently doing.
Okay, thank you. My name is Paris. I'm a student leader, and currently I'm working as a staff in International Youth Fellowship.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Paris.
Yeah, my name is Arnick Alphonse, and I'm a volunteer in IYF. And currently I'm doing the work of IYF as a staff. And I'm also the organizer of all the campus club activities, like I'm coordinating all the campus club activities of IYF. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, welcome, Paris and Alphonse, Mr. Nick. One thing is that in the transport sector, we have something like a ship. A ship is limited to travel in the water.
Yes.
We have the airplane. The airplane is limited to
To
the travel in the air.
Yes, sure.
Then we have like the cars. The cars are limited to the road.
Yes.
And then we have the train. The train is limited
On the railway line.
to the rail.
Yes.
But here comes the mind.
Yeah.
The mind is not limited to one path.
Sure.
That is why the mind will travel maybe on this path, the mind will travel on this other path. And because of this, many people don't actually know how to, make their minds decided to make a decision. This is it and this is what I'm going to follow. Because of this, there's a lot of confusion in life. I don't know whether you've come across, and especially maybe for you who is working currently with the students within the campus level.
Yeah.
I want to do this, and then at some point in my second year, I change my course. I want to do this. Maybe even for the ladies at the level where you are. I want to do this with my life. I want to do this with my life. And because of this, they never seem to make an informed decision in terms of, let me do this and see where this is leading me to.
Actually, like for me, when I was joining first year, I had an undecided mind because back in high school, I really loved maths and chemistry. So I thought, I guess I can be a good teacher of maths and chemistry. But again, from childhood, I wanted to be a banker. So I wanted to do anything with accounting. So I thought about it for some time, and it led me to confusion, very deep confusion, because I didn't know which path to follow. But I thought maybe if I ask a guidance from someone who is senior than me, maybe through that I can get some advice and follow the right decision to follow. So I asked my seniors, and one told me that I know you Paris, you don't like being at one position for quite a long time. So I think doing teaching or doing education, it won't fit you, because in education you'll be all along, you'll be in class, and maybe the time you're not in class, it's just a month or even less than that. And that one won't fit you for some time. So the best for you can do, maybe entrepreneurship. It's related to accounting, and you really love banking. So when you go for entrepreneurship, it will give you a very good platform for you, because in entrepreneurship, you can be a business lady, you can be a financial manager anywhere, you can be a banker just as you always wanted to do. And other than that, maybe take an example, if you become a business lady, you even have an opportunity to do other things. Like you can even go for a second degree now in education that you wanted. So I sat and thought about it. And I thought, wow, yeah, indeed, this one can really suit me. And I had to follow that path. Even though in my 1.1, I was thinking I need to change this course, I thought, yeah, if I do this, then I'll be able to go through.
In your learning time, when you're in school, then I don't know, were you in a position to see other people having their decided mind, whereby they would change from one course to another course? And at the end of the day, how has their life ended?
Actually, I have one friend that it really affected him a lot, because he wanted to do medicine, but he didn't manage to get the points to do medicine. So he was advised to take a pharmaceutical something. So even through his course, after going to the second year, he was like, no, this is not the course I wanted. So he went to do nursing. So he dropped these, not even dropping, like he deferred the course after second year and went to do a diploma in nursing. And after now finishing the nursing course, that's when now he came back to the diploma. I mean the degree that he was called to do. So I saw how it affected him, because that was an undecided mind. And even though he had the desire to do nursing or the desire to do medicine, it was affecting him even in his the degree course, because he couldn't even concentrate in class because he wanted to do what was in his mind. Yeah, so it affected him a lot negatively, because that actually I don't know, I can call it a wastage of time or something. Yeah.
Nick, you're dealing with the campus clubs up to now. What is the experience that you've had in regards to, and especially now the youth, having an undecided mind?
Yeah. Just a typical example of what Paris has talked about. I met a friend of mine when I was doing these campus club activities, one of the fine days during the club activities. And this friend of mine is doing analytical chemistry in school. That is what he's studying right now. And when I was talking to him, he told me he's also doing online business. So this friend of mine, like, he doesn't have a decided mind. He's doing online business, and he's also learning analytical chemistry. So I asked him, hey, why are you learning analytical chemistry and at the same time you're doing online business? Then he told me, hey, I'm finding a supplement of what I should do. Like, he's doing analytical chemistry, and he doesn't have the faith in the studies provided in the school. So he says, as much as I'm doing analytical chemistry, I don't believe that I will get this employment. So he wants to find a supplement of what he's learning. He wants to do online business, a way that he also can find another source of income. So each of the time when I find to talk to the youths about this decided mind, what they're doing in school and what they want to do in their lives, what they want to get employed about. They talked about they want to find a supplement of what they're doing. So like a typical example also of me, myself, when I was at primary, I wanted to become a lawyer. Then when I moved to high school, my profession changed because I met, like I have to learn history. There are certain qualifications I have to make for me to learn that laws. So I had to change my profession. I had to now go for IT. Now you see, this is what we call undecided mind. I didn't decide my mind of what I wanted to be. I want to become a lawyer, but right now I've changed again what I want to be, and I want to now become an IT expert. Yes.
So here comes one thing that, you know, an undecided mind, a double-minded person is unstable in all his ways, Then what is the way forward in terms of making people have a decided mind?
As much as this is concerned, I think that if one wants to have a decided mind, I was reading an article 2 days ago, and the person was saying, if you want to have a decided mind, then have a book and a pen, then draw your priorities. What do I want to be? Like, for example, you want to be a lawyer. You want to learn laws in school. Now, what are the things I have to do for me to become a lawyer? One of the things that the person was talking about is that you have to have a clearly drawn line of what you want. You have to decide your mind. I want to become a lawyer. Let me go for this. I have to be a lawyer. So once you have decided your mind, you want to become a lawyer, then you have to do things related to what you want to be. If you want to become a lawyer, get involved with the books. We have so many lawyers currently in Kenya. So if you want to become a lawyer, find the books that these lawyers they wrote, then read these books. As much as decided mind is concerned with the youths in Kenya, you find that youths, they want to get involved in what they don't want to do than what they want to become in their lives. I met another friend of mine again. He wants to become an author. Then when I look at his life, he's not doing things that are related that can lead him to become an author. Like, for example, I believe that if you want to become an author of a book, then you have to get involved in reading so many books for you to become what you want to be. Now, this my friend, he has a bag, and I asked him, hey, what are you carrying in your bag? He told me, I'm carrying a smartphone, electronic gadgets. How does this relate to what you want to be? So I told him, hey, now you are carrying your phone in your bag. You're carrying your laptop in your bag. So by the look of the things that are in your bag, what do you want to be? I asked him that way. He said, I want to be an author. Then I tell him that does not relate to what you want to be. So if you are caught up in a jam, what will you do? You will get in your phone. And how will you learn being an author if you are getting in social media, you're getting how many likes did I find in Twitter? I asked him so. So I told him, carry a book in your bag, then read that book and become an author. That is drawing your priorities, drawing a clear line of what you want to be. That is now getting the part of having a decided mind.
Okay.
Yes.
And Paris, I don't know, because Nick is now talking about, you know, having pen and paper and writing them down in terms of priority. But when I check right now within the society we are trying to go for what is most easiest, what is most close in regards to this, because I don't know, but if people got tired in terms of, you know, going for things of which seem to be long term, whereby I don't have to wait for 2 years, 5 years. I want it now and then. And because of this, then that is why today, when an opportunity arises in a certain field, I'll go for that. Tomorrow, if another opportunity erupts, then I'll go differently. I'll go for something different. I have heard of cases of people who have left their current working stations for the sake of 100 shillings hike in terms of their salary to go to a different place. I don't know what you have to say about this. What wrong have we done? Where have we actually gone wrong as a society?
Okay, I would relate my answer from The Talking Show. I have watched this show for some time now. And last year there is a time there was this topic concerning thinking. And you talked about 3 levels of thinking: the first level, the second, and the third. And you concentrated on the third level of thinking, which is contemplation. Now this contemplation level is whereby you don't just make up your mind from the first thought that comes to your mind, or even the second thought that comes from the mind, but also you go to the third level, now contemplating on what really is the topic. Now concerning what we want. Now here, you have to think deeply concerning what really you want and even what the society is looking for. Like, for example, the high schoolers who have just finished their KCSE last year, most of them, maybe they are thinking, where am I going to be now after September? Because September intakes is so high. So I'm like, what should I do even in campus? But if you contemplate on what is the society concentrating on right now? Mostly, as per the president some time back, he said that by 2030, we'll be dealing with digital things totally. Like nothing that will be, nothing like paper will be done, even in the offices. So someone may be thinking, maybe if I take a course that is related to IT, I'll be really used by the society in the future. Yes, right now we are not thinking of now, because people are not concentrating on something that is to come in the future, but they're just thinking about themselves now and then. So, but I would disregard this. For me, my view is that you don't just think about now, what you're doing now, what you will gain now, but think of the future. Even if in your studies, maybe even in your career, think of tomorrow. If I take this course, where will I be? If I take this career, where will I be? So contemplating on what really you want, that is the best thing you can do even in mindset.
So viewer, if you're joining us right now, this is Talking Show, and our topic of discussion today is having an undecided mind. I want you to check in your life. What are the instances whereby you had an undecided mind, and what were the effects about this? Because in life, we have two parts of life. We have whereby we make decisions based upon a decided mind. And also sometimes we make decisions from an undecided mind. I bear this because even when it comes to issues about marriage, and this is something of which maybe even my two partners are looking forward to in the nearby future, is whereby, you know, I may have two aspects. I have my wife who is in reality, and I may have a wife who is at the back of my mind. Meaning, I'm trying to compare. It's like a comparison of these two people. And because of this, then there's a lot of confusion. Because what is on reality and what is inside of my mind are two different aspects. So 21144 is the SMS line. Also on Facebook, GBS Kenya. Twitter handle also the same, GBS Kenya. You can have a conversation with us. How and is your life affected when you have an undecided heart? Because an undecided heart, at the end of the day, the decisions and also the way people live their lives, they live in fear. They live, you know, not even trusting what will come out of what is it that they're doing. I don't know whether you ever come across such kind of an aspect. You're doing something, but you don't have full trust that the outcome will be actually positive.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I can talk about my campus life. Like, even though I was advised to take entrepreneurship, at some time, especially when we were dealing with business topics, I really hated business back in high school. So I would think, why even did I follow the idea that I was given? But even so, even at such a time when that thought comes to you, you must rethink again. And that's why I really loved that topic of contemplation. You have to rethink about whatever you are really following. Because yes, you might not be really settled where you are, but again, you think of the positive side. Because when you concentrate on the negative side, now you get lost. But when you concentrate on the positive side, or why did I go for this? There is these ideas that I was given, and they helped me to go for this. So you think of the positive side of, even though you are undecided, just think of the positive side of what you're thinking about. Yeah.
Nick,
Yes.
I don't know how many youths you've come across who are willing to say something like this. This is it. If I perish, let me perish as I try this.
I've met so many youths. And when I'm interacting with these youths, they told me the society taught them that they should go to school,
Mhm.
learn, and get employed. So their fathers and their mothers asked them, hey son, hey daughter, what do you want to be?
Mhm.
Then, because he wants to impress the mother or father, he said, I want to become a doctor.
Okay.
Now, he or she goes to school, and back in her mind or his mind, told his father, I want to become a doctor. Now, what he will be doing or what she will be doing, you'll be learning to impress the father. I told my father I want to be a doctor. Let me learn to become a doctor.
Mhm.
Then, as they continue learning, they reach a level that this doctor, I don't see this doctor. I don't see like I want to be this doctor anymore.
Mhm.
Back in my mind, before my father asked me I want to be this, I wanted to become a teacher. That is what was in my mind. But because the society taught them, you go to school, learn and get employed, now they want to stick to that rule of the society. Now I tell them, why don't we break against the norms of the society and do what we want to be? Let us do certain things that make us to have a decided mind. Your father told you, I want you to become a doctor's son. Now you want to do what your father told you. I want to learn and become a doctor. I want to impress my father. Mm-hmm. And what you can really do best that will make you to have a successful life, you have to learn to become a teacher. Mm-hmm. Now you find the society has tied you to its norms. You don't want to become what you should be. Mm-hmm. You want to become what the society is teaching you to be. Mm-hmm. So when I meet these youths in the universities and the colleges, this is what they want to be. They told their parents, we want to become this. Now they're learning to become that, but they're not seeing that coming through in their lives. So that's why they are trying to do certain things. They now want to do online business. They want to become YouTubers. They want to do certain things that they are not concerned with what they are learning to become. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this can actually now, because what I'm picking from you, and as per mind education and also the trainings of which we have, is that, having this undecided mind brings something like you're talking about, not having trust in whatever it is that you're doing right now.
Yes.
And I don't know, but one of the things is because people are on the lookout of planting a tree today and having the fruits by tomorrow. In this aspect, and I think this is something of which the youth and the society out there should actually be on the lookout for, because yes, as you say, studying to become a doctor is not bad, but it will take you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And even the employment does not actually mean that I clear up with school today and tomorrow
you get employed.
I get employed.
Yes.
In between, after finishing school, and maybe by the time I get an opportunity to get employed in whatever professionals I'm taking part in, then what should I do in this duration? Because this is something else of which is coming up, and that is why we believe in the aspect that we are talking about. We have to think deeply. We have to think 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what is it that will actually mold my life? And the journey of which you begin today, because no journey actually is made up of just like 10 years. 10 years begins with 1 day.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 day will lead to 1 month. 1 month will lead to 1 year.
Sure.
And this is where I'm asking now. What is it that we can help the society to have a decided mind? How is it that we should, guide these people? Like, if this is it, this is it. Let's decide. We begin today.
Okay.
Yes.
The society have to be taught that a seed, when you plant a seed, when you pour a little water on it, it has to grow to become a tree. The same, if you see a man and you see another woman, you must think of seeing another child who is a girl or a boy. Yeah. And then if you see a girl and a boy, then you have to think about seeing a nation. Now the society have to be taught that everything that is created has the success in it automatically. So whatever also they learn in the schools, whatever they do in their lives, actually those things that they do have success in them. So this is what the society have to be taught. The society have to know, and basically the youths now.
So it doesn't matter what is it that I'm doing.
It doesn't matter.
A doctor or
yes. What you are learning, you have to grow to become what you want to be. You're learning to become a doctor. Yes, back as you learn, you are not seeing it as if you are going to make it in life, because you meet certain difficulties. When you go to do an internship, you meet a lot of challenges when you are learning to become a doctor. So you think like, these difficulties, I'm not seeing these difficulties leading me to success. But whatever you are learning to become, you have to become what you are learning to be. That is what the society has to be taught.
Okay.
Yes.
I get it. Like, even if it's little, as long as you have started it,
Yeah.
pursue it, and at least there's going to be some success
Yes.
Sure.
out of it.
Yes.
I love the way you said, as long as I see a husband and a wife, I see a child in the future. I have never figured out it in that way. Yes, Paris.
Okay, for me, I would view it just as I had said earlier, contemplation. We have to know that what comes to our mind at first, it's not always right. We have to know that we should not be acting from our first thoughts, because this first thought, it's just an idea brought to you. But you have now to think about it again. Have a second thought and think about what impact will it have even to me. And again, go deeper thinking about it. Think of the positive sides and the negative sides. So when the positive overlies the negatives, then go for it. But if you find that the negative side is not I mean, like, they are more than the positive side, don't go for it. But again, don't just settle on your own thinking. It's good to seek advice again, because yes, your thought may be right, but again, even after contemplation, but again, you ask someone who is maybe senior to you, or maybe someone who have more experience in something. If you get ideas from that person, then it shows that your experience or your even ideas, they're not really right. Then go for that which you're advised to do. Especially for the youth, because the youth, for us, we like vibrant things, or things that are just coming to us and they are making us lively. But again, those may not be right, really. But if we ask, we seek guidance from our seniors, our teachers, or even our parents, those ones, they can help us to now get the clear picture of what we should go for. Because the senior people, they don't just show you the side you want. They will show you, this is the side you want. This is the effects it will have to your life. This is the effect it will even give to your generation. But they will not just leave you at that point. They will also show you the other side. If you go for this other side, this is what you will gain. This is what you will lose. So, and even as they give you those options, they also guide you to the side you go. Even for the parents, think of a parent who want to engage in a building. This person, maybe he's thinking, either I can build my own house and make it bigger, or I can build another building that I'll be using it for lending. Now you think of the positive sides and the negative sides. Those ones.
But here comes because one characteristic of people who have an undecided mind is that they never listen.
Sure.
They don't listen.
They don't listen. Then how do I get? Because a person who has decided, this is what I'm going for, then because the mind is already made up, this is what I'm going for, and then he is willing to learn, either from the old or from the young, unexperienced or experienced, but I have decided. Because of this decision, then I'm able to listen and also learn from others. But people who are undecided, most of the time they never have even the skill of sitting down and listening to people. I don't know whether you've come across this, and how do you help this kind of people?
Okay. I met also another person. I interact with so many youths.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was,
you must be having a lot of friends.
yes. So I met another friend of mine, and this friend of mine, he had certain things that she wanted to do in her, now this is a lady, she has certain things that she wants to do in her life. Now she thought like, I want to become a teacher. Now she's learning and learning and learning. Things are not, she's not seeing like, this thing I want to become, I cannot become. Now I was talking to her and I asked her, do you know something to do with the mind? And she told me, I don't know. Then I told her, we have two types of mind. We have a fixed mind, and we have a mind that can be easily controlled. Now, a fixed mind is that mind that this person, what she or he has set in his mind, you cannot convince it in any way. Now, she wants to, you have to teach them to learn how to do certain things in a new way. You have to convince them not to try doing things as they have fixed their mind. Now, I gave her a typical example. I asked her, I want you to see how your mind controls everything in you. I told her, have you ever thought about a white bear? Then she said, yes, I know a white bear. And I told her, close your eyes. She closed. I told her, but don't try to think about a white bear. Then I told her, open your eyes. She opened her eyes, and I asked her, what was the outcome? She told me she was really overwhelmed by the thought of a white bear. Now, this is typically a person who has a fixed mind. You are told, don't try this, but you have your mind fixed in certain things. Now, once you have fixed your mind in certain thing, you don't want anyone to interfere with you. Now, she was overwhelmed by the thought of a white bear. She was thinking about the white bear during the 1 minute that she closed her eyes. Now, I told her, you have to try to do certain things new. This reminds me of the last show that I attended to one day. You're talking about listening from another person to get wisdom. Now, I told her, have you ever thought of finding new wisdom? Then she said, yes. And I told her, why don't you interact with people? And why don't you interact with them in a way that they will interfere with you to completely destroy the thought that you have set your mind in doing something, the fixed mind. You know, when you interact with the old people, they have the experience of all these things. Now, when you allow them to interfere with you, this is what we call now, you are getting wisdom from the old elderly. They have experience of this. Now, when you allow them to interfere with you, they're helping you to get out of your fixed mind. And they're putting you in line to have a set mind of certain things that you want to be. This is what we call having a clearly drawn line. I love this topic for today because this shows me the real person that I was and the real person, and helps me also to learn about the people I've met. You know, one day I was reading a book by one author by the name James Allen. You know, James Allen is someone who was talking about mind, how mind controls the lives of an individual. And he says in his book that whatever you become, you thought about that thing before. And if you want to change what you think you should be, you have to change the way you think. Now, that is what I mean by you have to allow people to interfere with you, to destroy your fixed mind, and to help you now to have your mind set to a certain thing that you want to be. Yes.
Then, as we spoke about, people who actually get confused because at the end of the day, they don't know how to make up their decisions. And, you know, even from a very personal experience, when it comes to the point whereby I now became of age and I really had now to get married, you know, and then there's this mind, I fear in terms of, fear of the unknown. I don't know whether, yeah, I can call it fear of the unknown. Yes, I want it, but because of this aspect, I don't know what is ahead of me. Then I get kind of, you know, let me try or not try it out. But the aspect whereby people are not willing to venture into certain things of life because of a certain fear. It will not work out.
Sure.
It's too challenging. Maybe something like nowadays, maybe single ladies are becoming more on the aspect whereby they think, you know, men are fierce and men are just like this. So I'm trying to check, how is it that we can be able to overcome this aspect of the fear of the unknown in regards to making up our minds? Yes, this is it. I will do this, irrespective that maybe the pay is not good, maybe something is not good, but I will do this. Because I'm trying to check. As I said, even when I was venturing into getting married, there was a lot of uncertainty inside of me. How will I take care of my children? How will I take care of my wife? you know, how is it that I can be able to handle these kind of things. But the beauty is, now that I'm already inside there, I know how to handle these aspects. Because why? I already made a decision. I want to get married. I will marry. Then here comes the aspect. How do we help people overcome this fear of the unknown?
I can say you should look for a mentor. A mentor is someone who walks by your side, both in positive and negative aspects of life. Because in life, you cannot stand alone. Even when you read the Deuterocanonical books, it's recorded that there is nothing new in this world. So obviously, there is someone who ever experienced that thing before you. So if you have someone who is ahead of you and is your mentor, a mentor is someone you just open up everything to him or to her. You tell him everything about your life, everything that lies with you. You don't have to hide anything. Even the little thoughts that come to your mind, you share them out. In this way, he or she can tell whom you are. And from there, he can be able to guide you in the right direction to follow. But if you just think of yourself every time, you just think, I think following my own way is the right. Actually, that way you will fail. But again, if you have, like Nick was talking about, if you just have a fixed mind, that my thinking will be my thinking, no one to interfere with it. Actually, you cannot be mentored by anybody if you have a fixed mind. And that way, it will be of importance if you learn from your past experiences. You know that when I faced such a thing, I failed. So I don't have to follow the same suit, because obviously you are the same person. So whatever you did last time, you can even do it today. So having a mentor is best. And if you have a fixed mind, obviously you cannot control this person, right? So if you can't be controlled, then you have to learn from what you have gone through before. Yes.
So sometimes it's good to fail.
It's good to fail, because from that it's like once bitten, twice shy. So you will not follow the same suit next time.
But there's some people who are never willing to learn.
Yeah, sure.
Fail in the first aspect, fail in the second aspect.
There is this leader who said that I failed in 1,001 times, but those times helped me to learn from my failures. That these are the ways that did not work with me. So I have to follow the one way that worked. So even though you don't like you're not learning from mistakes, you should know that there are people who follow the same suit but they failed, and after the 1,001 times they knew that those ones could not make. So I have to change.
Because also another thing that makes people not decide precisely upon something is because they fear failure. If I make a decision, I will follow this, and then at the end of the day, the most probability of which they see closest to them is failure, then they will shy away from making that kind of a decision. So I don't know what is it that you have to say in regards to what she's talking about. Failure is good.
Before we began this session, you told me one thing. You told me that in this world we don't have difficulties and problems. The problem that we have is that we don't have people who can help us solve the difficulties and the problems. Now, once you told me that, I felt like you should be my mentor. Because when you say that we should have people who help us solve these difficulties and problems, then I feel I should have a mentor. That is what Paris is talking about. We should have people who help us to know and to learn from our difficulties, the success and the failures. When we pass through certain failures, there should also be certain, we learn from these failures to do something new and to continuously do the things that we want to be. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe a viewer who is joining us right now, today our main focus is on, making decisions and having a decided mind that this is it. Even if it seems to be like a challenge, even if it seems as if, failure is the first thing of which I may encounter, but having a decided mind from the very beginning is what is going to determine your success towards whatever it is that you're doing, or you not being successful in it. For example, if you make a decision that today I will stay in the house, then irrespective of the challenges of which you meet in the house, but from the mind that you decided, I will stay inside of the house, then this will help you overcome those challenges and problems. But many people don't have a decided mind. They just go by the wave. It is good. Then when it's good, then okay, they are all right. And then when challenges come, then these challenges and problems actually overwhelm them. Basically because from the very beginning, they were not able to make up their minds. And I think as a country, this is one of the things of which is making us fall back and draw back in regards even to development, whereby people have not made up their decision that if I want to do this, I will do it. Irrespective that there is no capital, I will do it. Irrespective that it seems as if people are against me, but I will do it. And one thing of which I also loved from my two guests today is that they are also speaking about having a mentor. This is very true. It's very important that we actually pick opinions from other people who have gone ahead of us. It's important also to hear what is it that they bring on the table for us, because no man is an island. You cannot be able to survive all by yourself. And maybe a parting shot from Mr. Nick in regards to having a decided mind. And I drew this from the very beginning, whereby the good book that has stood the test of time, it has many others, yet inspired by one. It speaks about that a double-minded person is unstable in all his ways. I don't know what is your parting shot to the audience out there. This is your camera. You can make use of it, and then your parting shot in regards to having a decided mind.
In regards to having a decided mind, one of the things that I have to do, or one of the things that our viewers have to do, is that they have to have a mentor. Have someone who can interfere with you, someone who will put you in line of what you want to be. Then priority number 2, have a book and a pen, as I was saying before. Draw what you want to be. What is it that will drive me to the final thing that I want to be? Write your priorities down each and every day, follow them, and know which one did not work best for me at the end of the day. So I think that is my parting shot for today.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Paris.
Thank you.
I don't know, maybe we'll begin with you by asking, do you have a priority? Do you have a list of priorities?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That we'll discuss later.
Yeah. Okay. For me, I would advise the audience out there, because truly you don't have to trust in yourself. You are wrong always. Actually, the plans of the mind is totally wrong. But once you seek advice from others, once you have someone who guides your steps, then that way you can learn to follow the right direction to follow. Because if you just follow your own thinking, as I said earlier, the first thought is always wrong. Even the second thought, don't just follow it, but go to the third level of thinking, contemplate on whatever you're doing, and even seek guidance and mentor. Look for a mentor who will be checking on your daily lives, checking on your every minute of your life. In that way, if he or she rebuke you, then know that you're wrong, and you have to follow what he is guiding you to do. Thank you.
You're almost sparking another debate here, the aspect of being corrected and being rebuked. Maybe this one at least I have to hear, because in your day-to-day duties, then how many people have to be corrected and be rebuked, and how many take it positively?
It is very difficult to take corrections positive. I have certain people that correct me whenever I go wrong, and they correct me in a way like, if you don't understand, then you will just give up in life, in everything. They rebuke you, and why did you do this? Why did you do this? Did you know it is wrong? They put you in line like, if you don't understand what they want you to be, then you will completely give up in life. So to do with rebukes and interfering with one's life, you have to understand that for you to be corrected, they have to use so many ways. they know the ways that they can use to make you be in the straight line.
Okay.
Yes.
You brought about the aspect of being rebuked and being corrected.
Yeah.
How easy is it and how important is it?
Especially to the youth, it's not very easy because the youth don't want anyone to interfere with their lives. But I urge you, youth, everyone, being corrected is very, very right. And even being rebuked is very right. Though you might even cry because of the way you're being rebuked, but it's very correct for you to be in the right direction.
Okay. I pick it up from them because for anyone who has to make up their mind, then they must be guided. Even if this guidance does not suit their thoughts and their way of thinking, then here comes the aspect of being corrected and being rebuked. And for sure, in this world, you cannot be able to make decisions all by yourself. You cannot actually have, you cannot always be right. You have to also listen from other people. So in regards to making a clear line in terms of this is what I want and this is not what I want, then I pick it up from here that a mentor is one who is willing always to guide you and to help you. And a mentor is one who is always, in a position, irrespective of the emotions, irrespective of, the situations and the surroundings, but they help you have a sober mind. And we thank you very much for making time on GBS Talking Show. Remember, a double-minded person is unstable in all his ways. It's like having a platform whereby there is a person who wants to get married and they have two choices in front of them. And at the end of the day, if they don't make a choice, then it means they never get married. It's also the same in life. If you have an undecided mind, then you cannot become a successful person in the society. Even for aspect of leadership, a leader is the one who has a decided mind that I will do this and follow this to the end, irrespective of the challenges. Challenges, problems, difficulties will always be there, but this does not mean that you cannot make up the decision. Make up the decision. Once you make up your mind, then your mind will help you overcome. But if you go into something with an undecided mind, then the challenges and the problems of which you encounter will actually overwhelm you. But if you have a decided mind, no matter what challenge, no matter what problem and difficulty that you come across, you are able to overcome it. And in the society that we're living in right now, it is time that actually we made up our minds to live for others, to have hope, to have love and joy inside of us, and then we can be able to defeat all these kind of things, irrespective of the challenges. In a world whereby right now there is a lot of war, this is maybe inter-conflict wars, or whereby we have even a global aspect of war, whereby we have a world that we are facing many diseases, of which some of them don't have cures and treatments and vaccines. But let us make up our minds that we want to make this world a better place for each and everyone. Once we make up our mind like that, then we will be able to see a brighter future. It is bye-bye from me. Until next time, please take care and have a decided mind. Thank you very much.